YouTube, what up? So, we've been getting some testing in and driving around and hooning a little bit. I'd call it hooning a little bit.
Yeah.
And we got to playing last week, and everything was good. We got a good 3, 4, maybe 5 hour time in, 250 miles of, just out and beating on the cars a little bit. And the main point of that is, well, if I was going to break something, I wanted to break it then. I'm happy to report mission accomplished.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that good either.
And it broke pulling into the neighborhood.
It did. So we were like out in the twisties and like doing dumb shit, and like it was a good time.
Yeah.
And if it would have broke back there, it would have been a long day.
Very expensive tow home.
Nah, I would have just called Andy from Advanced Auto Transport, my guy. There's your plug, dog. But yeah, so we had what we thought at first, like when it happened, was a loud just thought I had popped the engine, right? Again. Yeah. Like she said, my heart broke. You could see it in my face.
Yeah.
But upon further inspection, we opened up the hood and we noticed that my tensioner was losing its mind. So we went ahead and replaced that. Super easy. It's literally one bolt. Push the tension off of it. Put the belt back on. Put the bolt back in. Put the belt back on. You straight. It's done. Well, that didn't fix the issue. So right here we're gonna.
It did a little bit. It needed to be fixed.
But now you can.
Or replaced.
This is one of those times where, like, if you know your car, you can hear it and go, something's off. Something's off. So right now, something's off. We're gonna show you what's off because we discovered it, and then we're gonna fix it. We already kind of fixed it.
Kind of.
So let's get into that. Got all this Pentastar and a Ripp section, right? Just gold and red and just, right? So, that little guy down there, brand new. We broke it. We now fixed it. Put a new pipe on. The other one was honestly pretty fucked. It was off the original motor, so it was time to replace it anyway. But this thing now under load, you get a little, like it almost sounds like it has a little baby cam to it. This doesn't have a cam. It's supposed to sound like it has a cam. So that was a problem. Lost power, couldn't really get anything out of the accelerator, and then we thought that fixed it. That did not fix it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand this to the lovely assistant cat, and I'm going to have her show you what happens because this catch can, that's part of the culprit. Alright, so I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to start it, and I want you guys to watch the hose that comes from the crank ventilation on the back of the passenger side upper crankcase. We'll put it that way. I want you to watch this guy right here. I want you to notice that's a little wet with the holes. Just ever so slightly. I want you to watch this right here, okay? Crankcase ventilation. Watch what happens when I start the car. Collapse. It starts sucking itself in, right? That is no bueno. Now watch this. Sit back here. So you hear it, you get that little. Watch this. Want to see it fixed? What we just did was we applied and took away vacuum. If I do that again, watch, listen. It just starts running better. So what we have is that hose right there is collapsing and it's causing bad vacuum problems, which is affecting the combustion of the engine, thus giving it power issues. And here we are today. Let's screw that back in. And give me a second. We had Eric over here yesterday. He was taking a look at everything, and yes, while this hose is extremely flimsy and just collapses on itself, you know, it is just heater hose, kind of expected. What does that is pressurization all the time, as well as, you know, this engine puts off a little bit of heat. And with that little bit of heat, it's going to deteriorate that. No worries. We already got fresh hose. My car gets all the hose. All of them. So, the first thing we did yesterday is we replaced the PCV valve. This guy. Okay? We did that because this thing is just a little worn out. Let's see if you can kind of see in there. There's a little bit of gunk. It's a little bit of fuel that got mixed in with the oil. Probably when shit happened, that is off the stock engine. We thought it was in good shape. We were wrong. So, yesterday, we replaced that with a brand new one. And now, we're going to cut some hose. We're going to cut some hose. Literally, this was actually quite a pain in the ass to find. I wanted to find specific PCV hose. The piece for this is like literally 4 inches. It connects here to here. Obviously, I have a ripp catch can. That's not going to work. Sorry for the burp. So we weren't able to find that. So we had to go find more heater hose. Now, this heater hose did last for 2 years. This is literally the exact same thing. Like even down to the same writing. Boom. So, it'll do the same thing. Went ahead and got some new clamps because I'm going to have to break those clamps back there to get it off. Not a big deal. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to take the catch can out. And we're going to look at what's in the catch can while she plays with the hose.
It's limp.
That. Don't talk about Biden like that.
Oh, ew.
Oh God, I lost the flip-flop.
Man down.
Alright, so inside of here, little bit of oil. This is a big, really big like step for us because we were having issues where we were getting a little bit of fuel in the oil as well. We can't have that. That's just showing something being off. Now it's just burnt oil. It smells horrible as expected, but there's no fuel in it, which is good. The gasket on here is still good. For those of you who don't realize, on this catch can, it's literally the same O-ring that you would use to put on your oil filter. How do I know? Because that's one of them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and disconnect the rest of it. We're going to clean this out. I got some brake clean inside on the bar.
No, it's in the garage.
Hey, organization. So we're going to go ahead and clean this out because we don't want it. There's no point in just leaving that in there. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the hosing. We're going to cut new hosing, get everything set back up, start the car, see how it sounds. May even go for a test drive. Let's get in there. We already got this guy off, obviously. Boom, boom, boom. Hoses are off. We are going to be replacing the clamps and the hosing on there. Not a big deal. But one of the things that we noticed was this was covered in oil. This is the outlet section. That's what's going back into the upper intake. Had a little bit of oil on it. Not a big deal. We can fix that. But one of the things we're going to do while it's out, if you can tell, there's oil all over me. We're going to use some brake clean, usual stuff. There's nothing in here that isn't metal or metallic. We're going to go ahead and just clean it up and put it back together. So we went and took all the hosing off, all the way back up through there. You see that little guy right there? That's where this goes. This is one of the valves that rip. Let's see, where is it? It actually says rip on it. This is one of the valves that they actually proprietarily made for this in order to make sure all flows and everything was correct. This is what fixed, this valve is what fixed, if you remember, I used to have a lot of like blow-by down here, like everywhere. It's pretty clean actually now, which that's a pretty big difference, trust me. So we went and pulled that off. I went ahead and cleaned it up too. There's a little bit of oil in there, a little bit of residue. Now it's just, we're gonna cut some hose. And then we're going to go ahead and get everything fitted back up. We're going to start the car up, take it for a drive. The reason why this took so long, you didn't see this, because I know somebody are going to be like, the sun's going down. You're right. The reason why is this thing had these damn, where they go? The single-use clamps.
Yeah, they're in the trash.
The single-use automotive clamps, they have to be like crushed and taken off. I legitimately have a stress fracture in my wrist right now from trying to He-Man something. So I had to have my assistant break it. I feel like such a man. Anyway, now we're going to cut some hose. We're going to get all this put back together, start the car up so you can see the difference. Try to cut out one piece, right? But one of the things we just noticed, show them how flimsy. Okay, so that's the one that came with the Rip can. Now, I'm not saying that Rip's in a bad product at all.
No, it's just...
You have to remember, this has been on the car since before SEMA 2018, and it's just
worn out.
We live in Texas. It's hot as hell here. Plus this thing, I don't know how to break it to you, puts off a fucking return amount of heat. It's gonna break this down. Plus there's oil going through this. Noodle.
Not a noodle. Rigid noodle. Oh wait.
Those be on back there. They on good. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And now we connect back to the catch can. This little guy. Woo. Okay, so new clamps be on. They're a little bit bigger than the last ones. I don't give a shit. Bigger means better. We ain't gotta worry about them. Probably doesn't mean better, but whatever. It's on. We tested it. We pulled it. It didn't come off. Next step, start her up. So what we did, took the cat can off, obviously, cleaned it, brake cleaned it. We cleaned the valve in the back. We replaced all the hosing with a little more updated hosing. This is good for 100 PSI. It's the same 5-inch diameter. It is heater hose, just like what came off of it. Last but not least, let's start this damn thing. See how it acts now. I'm a little nervous, but I don't think it's going to collapse. I think we fixed our issue, and we shall move on. Final bug before she goes in for tuning this week. Well, it's obviously a little bit later. It's dark now. We let the car run for a little bit, and we're still getting a code P1 or P0171, which, if my O2 sensors weren't tuned out, it would be an O2 sensor. It's not a vacuum leak. We don't have any vacuum leaks. So what that code is bank 1 lean. At this point, it could be anything. It could be the fuel. It could be the tune, because you got to remember the last tune didn't go so hot. It is what it is. And now we also have ported things, bigger throttle body, no cat, so we're getting air in and out very quickly, which can cause a lean condition. So I'm gonna hit up Bailey's tomorrow, see when they have time. Then I'm gonna hit up my buddy Andy over at Andy's Advanced Auto Transport. I think this is the second time we've mentioned that in this video. And see when he can pick it up and drop it off over there and let them tune and do their thing. One step closer, guys. One step closer. If everything goes right, which we need everything to go right, she will be racing at Race Wars November 22nd at Ennis. We will be racing the Vet, which that thing right now is doing really well. We've been driving the hell out of that car just to play. Oh, and the lights out. Give me a second. Hey, look at that shit. It's simple video today. We just needed to replace those hoses and clean out that, and replace the PCV, positive crankcase ventilation valve. Learning. So nothing crazy today. There's enough craziness going on in the world, so I figured we'd have a nice chill video. Like, share, please consider subscribing. We're almost to that goal, guys. I appreciate y'all. Stay savage, stay safe, and don't believe the media. Have a good night.